Good afternoon. I'm Mitzi Owens, Mary Catherine Owens Cooper, and I graduated from Antioch in 1957. There's so much that one can say about Andy, but I'd like to talk briefly about two personal incidents which he had in my life. He played the organ at my wedding because he was the only possible person who could make Bach sound wonderful, even on the old, wheezy Rockford Chapel organ. No one could play Bach like Andy. I'm glad that Ruth Beck spoke about his great musicianship, because although several of you have memories of his marvelous jazz, his ability to improvise, his love of spirituals, and the use of them in his composition, he was an outstanding, serious musician in all areas. He believed that all the arts were critical as a vehicle for human understanding and communication. When he was hired as the first black head of a department in a predominantly white school, Time magazine announced, "Antioch College likes to be different. It has a Hindu as head of the social science department, and last week they picked a 30-year-old Negro to head its music department." It goes on to say, Walter Anderson believes in both racial and music harmony. President Henderson said, "We didn't choose Mr. Anderson just because he was a Negro. We chose him because he seemed to possess the best possible qualifications among some 60 applicants who applied for the position." This was certainly true. He had to be among the best of the candidates. How many artists of any color at any time in the United States had at 30 written music that had been played and critically acclaimed by 2 major symphony orchestras, written music and worked with Langston Hughes, and also with Archibald MacLeish at their request, taught at a college, worked at Karamu House, all while working on an advanced degree. He continued to study throughout his career with men like Paul Hindemith and other composers and composition professors for a while, and he developed performances for a wide variety of groups in Europe and America, including the Vatican. As a black male artist who attempted initially to have a concert career, the issues he faced were monumental. For many people in the United States, the only music that blacks were to sing or play were spirituals or jazz, and for those who held strong racial feelings, they used black music as a limiting factor, not as a creative factor. How many black musicians whose leader was raved about in Germany and whose French songs were praised critically in France would come home to lukewarm praise and be told they really should stick to what they did best, spirituals or jazz only? Black women broke through the barriers to performance careers in the 70s and 80s. Black males only in the past 10 or 15 years, and then very few, mostly in opera. Of the several highly skilled black conductors in this country, none have career positions as conductors. They are brought out occasionally for Black History Month. There is a picture of Andy giving a recital at the Kinsky Palace in Vienna in Joan's book. There is a look on his face which I saw on many faces of many black artists when I was living in Europe, when they sang or played a recital. For many, they were being judged for the first time in their lives, not on the basis of the color of their skin, but on their artistry alone. There is no time to share, there's no time to share the many independent actions of his early life in fighting discrimination in a largely segregated society. He did it all by himself, always courageously and always with great dignity, and sometimes with great humor. You have to read Joan's book to get it. that I would like to quote from his comments during the Black separatist movement at Antioch, for surely it speaks to his long-term legacy to this college. Before I do this, I want to mention just one thing. When we were my husband and I were running international seminars in Budapest, there was a lot of tension. We were opening up Eastern Europe for the first time, and we had to bring in students from Africa, Asia, everywhere, and then get permission for the students from Hungary to speak their minds. And it was a tense day, and I'm walking down the street pushing a baby stroller, and I look up, and who's coming toward me? Erwin Abrams and Andy. And we looked at each other, and I said, Antioch is everywhere. And we cracked up laughing. And of course, he went on to do many things in Yugoslavia and other countries, bringing his love of problem solving and always his music to solving problems all over the world. He said to the Black separatist movement at Antioch that, one, he was an integrationist, and he said, the Antioch which vibrated for me was motivated essentially by an authority which resulted more from individual concern and action than talk. I should like to see equality established as rapidly as possible, not at the lower, but at the upper levels. But given 10 men with one who is without legs, I do not believe that anything is being equalized if the legs of the other 9 are cut off. I do not identify with violence or threats. Moreover, my life experiences confirm for me that through love, patience, and hard, intelligent effort, we can win as a total body of human beings.